Why, Cloverworks? Why? This is a bigger letdown than the game stunk. We were supposed to go to the moon, man. Diamond hands. Like, seriously though, what does a series need to be successful? A vast audience with their publisher such as Shonen Weekly Jump? Or maybe a dedicated fan base that loves the story that you embark on and all the characters you meet along the way? Or finally, even a well-received first season? Well, I mean, Promised Neverland checked all those off. So what happened? Hey guys, welcome back to The Corner, and thank you for not rage disliking and hopping off this video as soon as possible, because I actually am a fan of the Promised Neverland manga, but I cannot stand for this horse shit that they're trying to call an anime adaptation. And for all of you out there that are anime-only fans, please, for the love of degeneracy, hop over to the manga, because you are missing out on literally some of the best characters in the series and arguably my favorite arc out of the entirety of the series. So please at least hop over and read from where season 1 ended till current. I mean, if Tokyo Ghoul Route A is any telltale sign of what happens when a studio and an anime adaptation starts to kind of veer off from the source material, then we're in for a rude awakening with Promised Neverland Season 2. Already up into episode 5, we have skipped so much. So from this point on, there will be spoilers if you're interested in seeing everything that the anime has skipped. I will be talking about those arcs and those characters as they are some of the best of Promised Neverland. So pause this video, go read those couple chapters, or actually it'll probably take you a while because it's literally like 80 chapters that are skipped. Go read that and come back to this video because we will be discussing. Us manga readers out there, as we're watching this series, we start to get this little slight feeling of unease and nausea as we start season 2. Because episodes 1 and 2, they adapt the forest arc, which it was done all right. It was kind of compressed and condensed into 2 episodes, which is fine. I was okay with it at this point. But as we progress further into episode 3 and episode 4, this unease starts to become a little more prevalent within me. As in episode 4, we have a reappearance of Isabel, or Mom, 100 chapters earlier than she's supposed to come in the manga. She just kind of makes her appearance, and then this is followed, or supported even more so by the Grace Fieldhouse escapees breaking into the bunker, where us manga readers now receive a shot to the heart, and this unease becomes a gut-wrenching feeling of emptiness as the escapees get down into the bunker and they find that table with an empty plate of cookies sitting there, not being eaten by Yugo, the best character in The Promised Neverland. Now, this is when Yugo is supposed to be introduced, so instantly my mind starts racing as what the fuck's going on? I mean, no Yugo, that means they don't go and find the Goldie Pond, they don't go and have the battle arc, they don't meet all these other houses, all these other escapees and characters and demons that are honestly some of the coolest characters as well. I just start going down all these rabbit holes, and I tried to ease this feeling within me, saying, hey, maybe they're just gonna introduce him a different way. Maybe they're taking a little bit different of an approach. But episode 5 further shot that nail through my heart as Norman makes an 80-chapter early appearance. We don't even know that he's alive at this point. So this confirms that the Goldie Pond arc is left on the cutting room floor, so to speak. I'm assuming Yugo is also left on the cutting room floor, and my mind is just blown. Like, how could you drop this series so badly, Cloverworks? I mean, you had everything. You had the ball lined up on the tee. All you had to do was hit it. I mean, come on, this series had so much going for it, and this is what you do. This is what you skip. Like, I understand that the Goldie Pond arc doesn't really kind of follow the storyline of, meeting Norman and finding Minerva, and it kind of separates Emma and Ray apart. But when you skip this, which is roughly a third of the manga, which is roughly a year of in-manga time. What happens to all this development and this growth that we get? I mean, throughout them heading out to Goldie Pond, we have Yugo training in a way, Ray and Emma, how to fight and how to survive in this world. And how do you explain this time that passes? I mean, from episode 4 to 5, there's some behind the scenes time skip that goes and like all these characters just age. How do we explain the growth? I mean, there's so much growth that we just jumped over throughout this year and 80 chapters of manga. I mean, that is what we love about the shonen and about the series. I mean, being such a young group of kids, like what I love is the growth and the connections that they develop throughout the series. And we just kind of nixed all of that. I mean, literally 80 chapters of material. Like how can you justify this trash, this horse shit adaptation? I mean, it's really upsetting. I understand also the want to bring Norman back, as he was a fan favorite in season 1 and the beginning of the manga, but like having him go out in such an epic way like he did in the manga in the season 1, to bring him back early, it kind of gets rid of the impactfulness of his return. Like, I remember reading the manga, and when he left thinking he died, I was so sad and upset because he was my favorite. And then after 80 chapters of forgetting about him kind of, and meeting all these cool new characters like that we meet at the Goldie Pond arc, or Yugo especially, and then the fight scene with Yugo, like, you kind of forget about Norman a bit. And when he does come back, it becomes so impactful. It's like, oh my God, Norman, yes! I had tears come to my eye. But now, like, we go from season 1 to season 2, and within 5 episodes, he's back. By the way, where was Andrew? I mean, it just like, I mean, it really, for me, it tarnishes the integrity and the impactfulness of Norman's character. There's so much that happened, and like, I mean, and him kind of becoming the leader and becoming like the Minerva, so to speak. I mean, all this happened in such a short amount of time now. I mean, I guess if you consider the time skip that they don't really talk about, they kind of just don't mention, don't ask, don't tell kind of thing between episode 4 and 5. I guess a lot could have happened during there. And a lot did happen during there. We just don't get to see it in the anime. But I hate when studios do this. I mean, you have the source material there. Why deter from it? I understand in situations where like the anime is so good and it's kind of caught up to the manga, or in, you know, like Game of Thrones, it's surpassed the books and the creators helping create the story so it can keep coming out with the show and the live action, so to speak. But in a series where the manga's done, you have the source material there, why take gold and turn it into dog shit? I mean, doesn't make sense to me. The only thing I could really see happening at this point to reprise these characters and these stories is maybe like a mid-flashback now that we've had episode 5. And I hope that they do that, because that's really the only chance to redeem this season, in my opinion. Now, I try to usually, when I do videos like this, see it from both sides of maybe why they might do this. But I really can't in this situation. I mean, I understand COVID and all these delays that could have happened in production, but, you know, I don't see a pro for them of shortening the series. It's not like it's not gonna be watched. It's not like it wasn't gonna be a hit. So like, why are they missing out on all this capitalization they could have done? Especially since the writer and the creator of the series is supposed to be helping with the screenplay and the scripts. I mean, I just can't see a pro for cutting all this out. Like, for real, I really can't. I mean, this could have been, the amount that they skipped alone, this 80 chapters roughly, that could have been 2 seasons alone. And they just skipped that. I mean, this could have been drawn out and enjoyed and had so much more content for all those anime only fans out there. But like, I don't get why. The manga's ended after 20 volumes, so it's not like you have to keep up with that as it's constantly coming out. You have a finite amount of material to make, so why are you condensing that and making it into less? I mean, from a business standpoint, that doesn't really make sense to me. And from a creator standpoint, why would you let them do that to your baby? I mean, this series had so much going for it. I had many nights of binging, reading 20 plus chapters a night. And now this, I mean, it really is quite disappointing. That's my rant about Promised Neverland. Basically, to sum it up, I love the manga. I think it's great. The anime is just horseshit. And if you're stuck on anime only, or you're not current on the manga, or you haven't read the 80 chapters that are skipped, please do that, because at this point, it looks like that is gonna be completely skipped. So for now, guys, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay in the corner.